There is nothing really wrong with this attack, it's just generic in basically every possible way, but what gets it on this list is the name. Don't get me wrong, it isn't because it's in Japanese, it's because of how long it is. It almost fills up the entire screen if two people use it. It also doesn't help him that both of his forms have the exact same attack. The normal Supreme Kai one looks little better though, so he gets a pass on it.
I can't stop now!
Almost the same thing with the last one, only this time the attack animation is too long. I've timed it. It takes him about 5 seconds to do. Compare that with the normal 1 to 2 of most attacks and it's just insane. But what really makes this so bad is the lack of sound to go along with it. It's simply dead time. Nothing happens. Now I know rush attacks and ones with cutscenes are longer, but this is just your everyday beam type attack. Plus with rushes there is some action going on here. Here you have a green man with doing some fancy posing. This is the longest 5 seconds in the game. What keeps this from being higher on the list is it might put your opponent to sleep while performing it. That Pikkon certainly is one crafty fella.
No! What a fighter!
You know, I feel sorry for this guy. The only reason he even has a name is in passing and his attack is just so small. The only reason why this is notable is the size of a normal charged energy attack for most people will rival its size. Apart from that, some characters will have a larger one. Man, having your strongest attack smaller than a normal charged energy attack. So sad.
What happened? It will absorb everything.
Why does the dead zone explode? That one question is why he gets on the list. Everything about the attack goes along fine until the end. They even have a nice screenshot of it being open behind it. When it hits them, you get a nice close-up of the target struggling and then it just explodes. Also, it leaves behind their body if it kills them. You would think a vortex that will absorb everything would take their body too.
I should be immortal! Disgusting.
As great as Yajirobe is, his ultimate isn't. You would think a flurry of sword slashes would make a good one, which it would, but here he misses each slash. Yep, he never hits them once in the whole thing. It does work on giants, so you might think it just misses on small targets, but no, he still misses. Though maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe the force of his physical strikes are just so strong that if he did land a physical blow, the damage would just be too much. So maybe to help balance off the sheer force of his attack, they just had a miss. Nah, they just screwed up.
I really need to stop doing this.
Okay, here goes.
Why is he on the list? Well, I guess to demonstrate why, I'd have to show you his normal Kamehameha first. Anyone notice a difference? That's why it's on the list. He already has it for a normal attack. Now I know Roshi spent little time actually fighting like this in Dragon Ball, but with all the techniques he showed off, you would think they'd be able to come up with some other move instead of giving him the same one twice.
Can't you go easy on an old man? You're finished!
An attack from the show, done correctly, complete with color and sound? Why is this on the list, much less number 4? It makes it on the list because the name lies to you. I can't get over an attack name lying to me. I feel so betrayed now. The attack is called Destroy the Planet, and, as I'm sure you have guessed, it can't. I've tried it many times, on basically every stage, but it has never worked. The attack is just trying to trick you. But then again, I guess Frieza never really was good at destroying planets, and he always seemed to overestimate his power. So I guess it only stands to reason that his attack would come up short as well.
Down it all! This is it!
Now we get to the good ones. The reason why this attack is third are clear as day. leaves you open, there's really nothing interesting about it, and it misses constantly. There is a way to get most of the shots to hit, but this assumes you're within a certain range, not too close so they'll spread out too much, too far away and you'll hit the range limit, and finally, the target is standing nice and still. I know I normally don't bring up gameplay in these lists, but in this case I'll make an exception. The sheer uselessness of this attack is just staggering. Even more surprising, there's still 2 left after this.
Strong! Too strong!
I like that body of yours. Want change?
Wait, this isn't number 1? I bet that's a surprise to some people. As I'm sure most people know by now, yes, he doesn't change bodies with the person he is fighting. So who does he change into? Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, Jace, Gohan, and Nail. Some are more common than others, so if there is anyone else, this is all I've gotten so far. And just like in the last game, his stats are all lowered, and he can't use any special attacks, and is left with plain physical ones. So why is this attack only number 2? Because watching him do that taunt after he switches bodies is hilarious.
Impossible. That's impossible!
Eat this! Come on!
Plus the attack at number 1 is just awful. There is no real reason why this attack is bad by itself. The problem is, it's a Spirit Bomb. Why is a Spirit Bomb in this plane? The attack that was basically made to the strongest attack throughout the series is Goku's trump card. You would think there'd be a little more to it. Even more so with this version. You'd think a Spirit Bomb made with energy from across the whole universe has some sort of cutscene to go along with it. But no, to really understand why this attack is number 1, you have to look at the 3 other versions of the Spirit Bomb in this game. First up, Early. It comes with a nice cutscene of blasting them off into the sky, plus it is done with one hand, and we've already established that one-handed versions of 2-handed attacks are always better. Now, Mid doesn't have much fun for his, except the damage. Oh boy, the damage. Yes, that is the real amount of damage this attack does if you charge it 3 times. Finally, we come to End. Again, a nice cutscene to go along with it, and is generally a good ultimate. Almost made it on the top 10, actually. So now that we know what the others are like, you would expect this one to be the largest and most powerful. In both cases, that is wrong. I mean, to say this attack is disappointing is an understatement. To put it simply, it's the worst ultimate in the game.
I was beaten.